Hello guys, j'espère que vous allez bien. I promise to you, this is my first video in English. I am not fluent, I'm sorry if you can't understand me, but I added subtitles in French and English, obviously, in case you need them. Alright, this video is slightly different from the other ones I made before, because I will not be talking about offenses, defenses. This is more like a focus on the dark side of the siege battles, if you know what I mean. If you are already in a high level siege guild, there are a lot of information that you may already know. If you are at a lower level, around low G3, high G2, it will be very useful. I decided to split the video in 3 parts. The first part is about the siege battles in general. We will go through the glossary. The vocabulary is very important to understand the rest of the video and to understand the content you are playing to. Then I will explain the siege mechanism and very quickly, what it takes to win. Second part is about being efficient. Siege content is repetitive. There are a lot of actions you will do again and again. You will use the same compositions to attack the same defenses. You will use the same runes, the same artifacts. There are a lot of actions you can simplify, and I want to show you how to do this by using different tools inside and outside of the game. So obviously the JSON file, SW Optimizer, SWGT, and the text. Now the third and last part is about being smart. You will go through a lot of information during a siege battle, and if you understand the content correctly and if you use these informations, you will be able to complete and increase your capacity in winning the game. Don't worry, the glossary is very simple. Front and back towers. Back is 1 to 5 and front is 6 to 12. Towers number 1, 2 and 3, we call them the HQ towers because they are connected to the headquarters. A tag is when you want one attack only on the tower, so it will give you access to the other defenses, even if the tower is far away from your lines. Trim and DT1 is when you left only one defense in the tower, so when you want to take this tower down, it will be only one attack left, and it will be very fast to take it. Next is down, take and retake. You kill all the defenses in the tower. Shadow or Ninja is a specific move when multiple players are attacking at the same time and they have to wait each other before finishing the attacks. So the tower disappears in a snap and the enemy is not able to react to this. Tick is just the number of points you are obtaining per minute. Cut means isolate, so you isolate some towers so they become useless. And the trap is a defense that is rune specifically to counter one offense. For example, a defense that is Lucian proof is a trap for the Lucian compositions. I wanted to explain the siege mechanism, but in fact we already have all of the information we need in game. You just need to go to the event page, game guide, then you click on siege battle tournament. And once you're here, you go in siege battle. And here you have, everything is already explained, so let's move on. Now, what do you need to win a siege battle? At first, you must have a good win rate. Then you need a good strategy and a good communication between the players. And finally, you must be conscious that the time is very important. So the win rate is mandatory obviously, but it is not that difficult to achieve, so let's not focus on this one. Then the strategy actually is your leader's job. You just need to follow them, to follow the others, but the communication is also a part of your job as a player. And finally the time, which is the topic of the day. And I feel like this point is underestimated by people. Players need to understand that you may have a good win rate, you may have a good strategy and communication. If you are too slow, if you're not reactive, you're gonna lose this. Because at the end, what you want to do is to maximize the number of points you are taking over time. You need to tag fast, you need to attack fast, you need to answer the calls fast. Please keep this word in mind, fast is the key. Once you are safe, obviously. So I will give you guys some advice and tips to be more reactive and faster when playing Siege. So the JSON file, the famous one, it is very important because look, if you are applying for a job in real life, you will need a resume, right? So people will know your human and technical skills. The JSON file in Summoner's War is quite the same. It contains your data on your monsters, your runes, your artifacts. So if you want to join the guild will know if you have the capacity, by looking at this file, if you have the capacity to maintain the level they require. If you are a G2 or G3 player and you want to join a guild above the, let's say, the top 30, and you don't have this file, that means people would hire you by coin flipping on you, and fun fact, they will not. There are many videos and tutorials on YouTube that will help you to get this file. If you are a mobile-only player, it might be difficult, but if you know someone who's playing on the computer and someone you trust, you can get some help, won't say more. Anyway, as I said, this file contains your data on your monsters, your runes, and your artifacts. So now how you can use this to help you being more efficient in Siege. What is a time-consuming action in Siege? You have to build your compositions, run your monsters before you can attack. And this, if you don't know exactly the runes and artifacts you want to use, it will take so much fucking time that you will lose 2, 3, 5 minutes maybe, just by running your team. What if you could run your compositions in advance? So when comes the moment to attack, you will just pick the runes instead of looking for them. First option, not the best, but you won't need a JSON file for this one. You run your monsters in game, you take screenshots, and then you store all of this in a file, like a Google Doc, and this is exactly what I did for a long time. I stored all of my compositions in a Google Doc, and because I have a good knowledge of my runes, this was a good solution, but if you don't, this will be a disaster. So yep, this one is totally free, you don't need the JSON file, but it requires from you to have a good knowledge of your runes. Summoner's War Optimizer is one of the well-known tools that have been developed a long time ago. There is a website and there's also an application, at least on Windows. I don't know if it exists on the App Store. There is a free and a pro version. For our use, we don't need the pro version, so you can totally use it for free, but you will need the JSON file to run this tool. Please keep in mind that this is not the tool I am currently using for the team building on my side, but I know the bare minimum, so I can show you what to do from the import of your JSON to the running of your monsters. And if you want to know more, there are a lot of videos on YouTube that will explain to you all of the menus that I won't show you today. Alright, so I am on the application right now. You can see at the top left there is a 3 lines spot. You can click on it and it will show you all of the menus. At first you have the menu to import your JSON, then you have the runes, the artifacts, the monsters, the optimizer that we will use, and some menus that I'm not comfortable with. I won't speak of them. First step is to import your JSON. You go in the first menu, Export Import. Then you click on Pick a File. You have to select your JSON file wherever it is on your computer. Then you click on Import It and you wait until the system processes. There will be a message at the top of the box that will show you that the import is successful. And now we have all the information we need. If I go in the runes menu, I have all of my runes. So there are many pages, 195 pages. If I go in the artifacts, this is the same. I have 164 pages. The monsters, we have also the list of all of the monsters in the account. And finally the menu we're gonna use today, the optimizer. You have a list of all of your monsters. Today I'm gonna use Bastet as an example, so I'm just selecting Bastet. Then I will choose the set of runes I want to use. Let's say we want the Swift Will. If you want to exclude some runes, you have the possibility to do it. Then the slot I want, slot 2 is speed, slot 4 HP, and slot 6 also HP. At the right, you have some boxes, many options. For example, you can block your runes and then choose if you want to use them or not. You can use the runes only from the inventory or the runes only from the storage, for example, etc, etc. In the middle of the page, you have the possibility to use the artifacts or not. So you can choose the main statistics, the sub-statistics. And you also have boxes if you want to use locked artifacts or inventory artifacts, etc. Right, same as the runes actually. At the bottom of the artifacts box, you have the filters. It is not mandatory, but if you want your system to process the calculation faster, you want to put some values in there. So let's say I want 300 speed, 30k HP, and maybe 1k defense. Now you can see at the right that the system already pre-calculated the number of builds that it will give to me, and it's pretty high. It's like 99 billions of build actually, and I think it will crash at this point. So what you want to do is here in the focus box, you want to select the statistics in priority you want. I want the speed in priority, and you see that the estimated builds is going lower. And if I choose other statistics like HP and defense, we are down to almost 400k builds, and now I think it's fine, and I click on optimize. The system is calculating, and I have all the builds that correspond to the runes and statistics in the filters I put before. How many pages I have? I have 2 pages. This is fine, and here you want to choose, well, the option you prefer. You can classify the options by the statistic you want in priority. For example, if I want the maximum speed, I'm gonna just click on the speed at the top of the table, and it will show me the first best options in speed for the stats I asked. Now I can click in one option in the rune ID column and see what are the runes that this option is using. I have all of the details of the substats of each runes and their location. Once you did this for each monster of your composition, you want to screenshot all of these informations and store it somewhere. You can use a simple text file like a Google Doc as I showed you before, or you can use a personal Discord server, for example. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. This is the Discord server of my current guild lead, Avox. Thank you, Avox, for allowing me to show all of this. As you can see, he has many channels. Each channel corresponds to one composition. And if I go deeper in one of the channels, let's say Jultan Konamiya Ryan, you can see that he has the screenshots of the runes and statistics of each monster. So this corresponds to the view I showed you before in the application Summoner's War Optimizer. So he just took screenshots of the information and stored them here. The purpose of doing all of this is that when you want to run your composition in-game, when you want to attack, you will not have to look for each runes in your account. Sometimes, you know, the runes, the statistics you want are very precise, so you don't want to lose time looking for each rune you want to use. The next option I wanted to show you is not free, I'm sorry. This is not sponsorized and I am not promoting this tool, but I wanted to show you something that is very helpful to me today. The tool in question is SWGT, it's a website. This is my account, I subscribe to the Personal Plus option. The subscription cost me 5 or 6 euros a month. It is not that much, but it depends on people and it depends on what you want to do with your money. I am free to play on Summoner's War and this is the only money I'm spending for the game. Anyway, this is far more worth it to me than paying packs in-game and stuff like that. So the Personal Plus subscription allows me to use the team builder. I'm sorry, it's in French right now, but Création d'équipe is team builder in English. So if I go there, we will see that I already have a lot of compositions in place. Again, you will need your JSON file to run this tool. You can import it manually, or if you are using the SW exporter application like me, you can connect the SWGT account to the exporter, so when you are launching the game, it will import automatically the JSON file to your SWGT account. It is not that easy to set up, so I will give you some links in description that can help you doing this. Now, to run a composition in SWGT, you have to be on the main page of your team builder. You click on Add at the top right of the page and select the normal option because the CH1 cannot be synchronized yet with SW exporter. And now we just have to select each monster for the team. Let's go for a simple one. We will use Gallion, Eshir and Lea. As you can see, I already have runes for Gallion and Eshir, because SWGT picked the information from the JSON file that these two monsters were already runed when I imported the file. And if I go in the game, we can see that Gallion and Eshir have the runes, and these are the same runes than in SWGT. This is not the case for Lea. I can put a note here if I want to, but this is optional. I click on Add when I am done. And now we want to run Lea, right? Because the two others are already runed. I must go on the Runes and Artifacts menu for Lea. Then I click on Change. And here I have two options. If I want to do it rune by rune, I need to click on one slot and new one of them. So let's do the first one, and I need to look for the rune by selecting the different options. I want a blade with speed, and which one is it? It will show you all of your runes that corresponds to the options you selected in the drop-down list. So I want this one, equip, and it will equip the rune. This is simple, and you can do this for the other slots one by one. It is simple, but it takes some time. That's why I prefer to use the second option, which is faster and easier. First, I need to go in the game, and I need to run the monster. Just do it as usual, so select the monster, go in Rune, Manage, and then you run your monster. Once you are done, you go back to SWGT, you click on the Change button, and now instead of going slot by slot, you select the Equip Actual button, and SWGT will load for you the runes you just put on the monster. You can do the exact same process for the artifacts, and that's it. Now if I'm playing the game and I want to run this composition, this team, and I can't remember the runes I need, I just go to my team builder in the WGT and pick the runes that the tool is showing to me. No need to think, I just copy the runes as fast as possible. This is on computer, but I have the access to my account also with my phone. So when I am out and playing, or if I don't have access to my computer, this is still usable. Now for the last but not the least option, we can build decks. This is the most important one, by the way. You will need at least 2 accounts. You can ask a friend or a guildmate, or as you can see, like me, you can have 2 accounts. The only thing is you must have the 2 accounts on each other friend list. For the decks, you don't need the JSON file, you don't need any other tool, but what we did before on SW Optimizer and SWGT might be very helpful. The first step to start building your decks is to send a deck recommendation from your main account. Go to your friend list. Here I can click anywhere on deck at the right, and as you can see, I already have some decks. You can see the runes. If you want to create a new one, go to the friends you want to send a deck recommendation. click on deck again, get recommendation, select your friend again if needed, write your message. To be clear, you can write the monsters you want to run, and for Siege you can build 2 teams per deck, so let's say Galleon, Eshir, Lea, and Bolver, Camellia, Skogul. Click on send, and then the second account will receive the requests in the private channel. On the second account now, I can go in my private channel, click on the requested deck. You will be sent to the deck recommendation settings. And here I can see the monsters of my main account. I also can go to the rune and artifact settings. I don't have access to the storage, but if you want to make it easier, just leave the monsters you want to put in your deck out of the storage. So let's pick the monsters. They will have the runes and artifacts already set up from the main account. So if you are working with a friend or guildmate that doesn't know your runes, this is the most efficient way. Just run your monster before you send your deck recommendation. If you are working alone, this is not that important because you have access to the rune and artifacts. I will do this for Skogul because he has 2 runes missing. Click on runes and artifact setting, select Skogul, and as usual, pick the runes you want for him. One detail, you cannot use the same runes twice in the same deck recommendation. So be careful and check one last time if everything is runed as you wanted. Once you are done, you can leave a message. And finally, click on recommend deck. Go back to your main account in the private channel and click on completed deck. You can click on check recommended deck to see if everything is okay, and that's how you build your deck. Now how to use them, I will give you an example, but first I need to unrune the monsters. Okay, and now that the monsters are unruned, I go back to the friend list. I can click anywhere on a deck. I go to the last deck I created and check recommended deck. And now for each monster, I have the option to engrave rune artifact. So I will do this, monster by monster. And if I go and check in my monsters, and go for Galleon, C is runed again, same for Lea and same for Eshir. Now, because they separated the runes in Siege, you have one last step, so go to the Siege content and start like if you wanted to attack. Select your monsters, and here in the rune settings, just load the default runes, and it will load the runes from the normal side of the game, if I may say, not from the Siege side. Repeat this for each monster. And you're good to go. Just complete with the runes and the artifacts you need. With this setup, you can now make your reservation and attack in a matter of seconds instead of minutes, because keep in mind that time is very, very important in Siege. Alright, I think we are efficient enough. Now let's see how you can be smart. At first, I will show you many situations where you can take an advantage on your enemy, and to be honest, this is not really being smart, it is just game knowledge. But if an entire guild is aware of this knowledge, it will make a huge difference. I will start with the tower's visibility. The first situation is when a tower is rebuilding. In this situation, when the tower is yours, the enemy cannot see what's in there. You can move, remove, replace, anything you want, but the enemy won't see what's happening. But you can see everything in the towers that are linked to the one that belongs to you, if and only if they are not rebuilding too. So in this situation, as a yellow member, I cannot see what's in the 6 blue, but as a blue member, I can see what's in yellow 12, yellow 7 and yellow 3. So if you want to perform an action on any of these towers, you have actually 46 minutes to prepare yourself. If you want to tag the yellow 7, you can ask for someone to prepare an attack, and when the timer is up on your tower, he can attack instantly. If you want to one-shot the yellow 12, you can ask for 5 people to prepare an attack, and when the timer is up on your tower, they can attack instantly, and boom, the tower is down in a matter of seconds. You can take in note that even if your tower is isolated, you still have the visibility and you can attack any tower that is linked to yours. Now, second situation is when an enemy's tower is rebuilding. Let's take at first the red 6 at the top of the map. In this situation, as a blue member, you will not see what are the defenses that are put in this tower until it is rebuilt, but a red member can see what is in your blue 3. If this is the first time you're gonna hit the red 6, because it is a Knight 5 tower, the higher you go in siege, the more heterogeneous the Knight 5 towers will be. So there is no way that you can guess what will be in this tower. It can be filled with any LD Knight 5 and stuff like that, so you just have to wait. With this, I can make a transition with my second point, which is the towers types. As I said, at a high level siege, when you're about to hit for the first time a Knight 5 tower that is rebuilding, there is no way that you can guess what will be in this tower. But it is not always the same for the Knight 4 towers, because very often these towers are filled with the same defenses for the same guild. They have maybe 2 or 3 archetypes of Knight 4 defenses, and on one side they will put the same archetype again and again to exhaust the enemy. So if we go at the bottom of the map with the blue 11 and yellow 7, which are Knight 4 towers, if yellow decides to take your blue 11, you won't see the defenses they will put in this tower because it is rebuilding, but there is a high chance that they will put the same defenses that you see in the yellow 7, or an archetype that is very similar. Of course, it's not always the case, but if you have 5 people prepared to attack what you see in yellow 7, you can retake your blue 11 in a matter of seconds if the defenses are the same. And I can reach my final point of this video, the in-game information. So, supposing your siege battle has started hours ago and people have done many attacks already, you want to prepare an attack but you cannot see what the defenses are yet. You can go in information at the bottom, and here in the first menu, attack, you will see all the attacks that have been done by your team. You have the towers number, you have the name of the player your team guildie attacked, and if you click on a panel, you will see the attack composition and the defense composition. In addition to that, you can watch the replay if your guildie left 1 and check what runes the defense is using. Please be careful with that because people can change their runes during the siege battle. Yes, one last tip. If you finish your attack, you will send a replay of the fight. You can leave a message with the replay. So please write something useful if you think it is useful. For example, if you try to Lucian the defense and it was a Lucian trap, Lucian proof, just write that the defense is Lucian proof. So the guildmate that will attack right after you will know that there is no way he can Lucian the defense. Okay guys, I am done with this video. If I said something wrong, or if I missed something, or if you have a question, please leave a comment. I will take the time to read everything. The useful links in the description, so if you want to complete this video with other information, take your time. Thank you for watching, have a good weekend, see you guys, ciao ciao.
Before you idealize, motivate the hunger to make them all realize. Climbing the mountain, never coming down, break into the contents, never falling